My name is Eric Martineau. I'm currently a PhD student in Richard Robitaille's laboratory at University of Montreal. So I've been studying ALS since 2011 when I joined the lab as an undergrad student. And after that I started my master and my PhD program in the same lab. Well, at first when I joined the lab as an undergrad, I was mostly curious. I found that ALS was an interesting disease. But the more I started working on the disease and coming to meetings such as this one, the ALS Canada Research Forum, I started to really feel how important it is to study this disease because it's such a devastating disease and there's no cure yet available. And I can really see where research can really help and be of great benefit to the patient, and that's what kept me going in this particular field. Currently, we're working at the connection basically between the motor neurons and the muscle cells. So it's this connection which allows the neurons to make the muscle contract and allow us to move. And we see that there are very early change at this connection, and that the environment around the connection is actually actually altered in a very bad way, and which could be toxic to the connection and lead to its loss. And so we're studying these early mechanisms and see how particular cell types, mostly glial cells, but also other cells around, how they contribute to create this toxic environment, which leads to the loss of this connection and which has a direct impact on the symptoms. So I think this research could have a great impact because while studying how the environment, the neuromuscular environment becomes toxic, we hope that we can identify new targets for drugs that could then, if we could target those mechanisms, maybe we could help make the environment healthier around the connection and help preserve it longer. And this could have a direct impact again on the ALS patient because it's the loss of this connection which is at the root of most of the motor symptoms to begin with. So we really think that this could be of benefit to patients. I think there's some very promising treatments at the horizon. They're not approved yet, and there's still a lot of research to do, but there are some really promising studies. I think there's some studies, the ASO studies, looking at downregulating some of the genes involved in the pathology could be very beneficial for a subset of patients. Also in the lab, we're collaborating with cytokinetics for the tirasemtiv trial, which is a drug that targets muscle. And while it may not help directly delay the pathology, it may actually compensate for some of the symptoms and be again of great benefits for the patients. And I think this one looks again very promising. The results are still coming, but so far what we've seen, it looks like it could be of great benefits. I think there's really a lot of hope, and there's a lot of dynamism in the community lately, and I think the things are looking good. I can say that both personally, but also as I saw from other colleagues, that it could be of great benefits. And the funding program of ALS Canada is really exceptional in the sense that it doesn't just give money, it tries to really stretch every buck to be the most impactful. And they fund some high-risk projects for a short period of time to help people get the results that could then help them get bigger funds from other more general sources, such as the Canadian Institute for Health Research. So if I take the example of our lab, for instance, we applied a couple of years ago to a grant from ALS Canada. We received funding for it. It was a short one-year grant, but it allowed us to get the result to then apply and get a much bigger funding from a general source, which was the Canadian Institute for Health Research. And I think the program of ALS Canada is really aimed at helping people get started, get results, and then attract other funding from bigger agencies, and therefore it has an exponential effect, I believe. And in that sense, I think it's really it has every dollar that donors give can have a great impact in ALS research.